What's this? A letter for me.
Welcome to another episode of Remember the Great Sports Through the Mail Thursdays. Today I'm going to share with you 3 recent returns that I just got back in the mail. Let me just introduce this first one. It is postmarked from Kansas and it is a return from former Los Angeles Dodger pitcher, also Houston Colt 45s. However, I didn't have a Colt 45s card. Jim Golden on 2/2. I just had these 2 and that was all that I had. So I decided to write Mr. Golden and ask him to sign them. So let me tell you about Jim Golden and his career in baseball. Jim Golden graduated from high school in Silver Lake, Kansas near Topeka and signed with the Philadelphia Phillies at just age 18 in 1954. He worked his way through the Phillies minor league system for 5 seasons but was never called up to the majors. Finally, in December 1958, the Phils packaged him and 2 other players to Los Angeles in exchange for a 24-year-old second baseman, George Sparky Anderson, the future Hall of Fame manager. The Dodgers kept Golden at AAA St. Paul for 2 full seasons before recalling him in the closing weeks of the 1960 campaign. He won 20 games in St. Paul for 1960 and led the American Association in both wins and earned run average. Golden then spent the full seasons of 1961 and 62 in the major leagues. He was a relief pitcher for the pennant-contending 1961 Dodgers, working in 28 games and posting a 1-1 record with no saves. Then he was selected in the expansion draft by the Colt 45s with the 37th pick in the 61 Major League Expansion Draft. As a member of the 62 Colts, Golden appeared in 37 games, including 18 as the starting pitcher. He won 7 of the 18 decisions with an earned run average of 4.07. He was credited with 5 complete games and 2 shutouts, including a 5-hitter against his old Dodger teammates on June 15th, defeating that year's Cy Young Award winner and future Hall of Famer Don Drysdale. 5 of Golden's wins came at the expense of Houston's fellow National League expansion entry, the New York Mets, who lost 120 games that season. His 5 complete games and 2 shutouts would be the only ones of his entire MLB career. Golden worked in 3 early season 1963 games for Houston, but he was roughed up in his final appearance, a start against the St. Louis Cardinals on April 23rd. He allowed 2 earned runs in 2 1/3 innings before being taken out of the contest. But the Colt 45 bullpen let the game get out of hand, surrendering 13 more runs as St. Louis triumphed 15-0. After that, Golden then spent the rest of the 1963 and all of 1964 at AAA before he decided to retire from baseball at such a young age. During his MLB career, Golden posted a 9-13 record and a 4.54 earned run average in 69 games pitched. He allowed 233 hits and 76 bases on balls with 115 strikeouts. He appeared in another 6 MLB games as a pinch runner during the 62 season. He actually wasn't bad with the bat. At the plate, he batted .217 with 13 hits over his career, collecting 2 triples and 8 runs batted in. So I really don't know why he retired at such a young age. My guess is that maybe he was having some arm issues. I have not confirmed that according to his Wikipedia page, but nonetheless, he had a strong outing with the Dodgers. One could only speculate if he had a chance to stick with the Dodgers, the career he might have had and the World Series championships he might have had. So thank you, Mr. Golden. We'll move on to the next one. All right, so this next one is kind of a unique return. And this comes back from Indiana, and this is from former Purdue Boilermaker Bernie Allen on 3 of 3, 2 of them being rookie cup cards, which I know a lot of people like collecting rookie cup cards, whether they're signed or unsigned. So let me tell you about Bernie Allen and his career in baseball and other sports as well. Allen, born in Ohio, attended Purdue University and played college baseball for the Boilermakers, where he was twice named the team MVP. A winner of 6 varsity letters while at Purdue, Allen was also the quarterback on the football team and selected as the team MVP in 1960. Prior to that, he platooned at quarterback in 1959, leading the Boilermakers to a 5-2-2 record in the top 15. Earning the job in 1960, Allen led the Boilermakers to a record of 4-4-1 and wins over number 12 Notre Dame, Ohio State, and number 1 Minnesota. The Minnesota and Notre Dame wins were both road wins, while the win over Ohio State earned Allen Sports Illustrated Offensive Back of the Week. Purdue spent 5 weeks in the top 15 and finished the season at number 19. Allen was selected for the Blue-Gray game, throwing 3 touchdowns and led the Blue Squad to a 35-7 victory over the Gray, which was quarterbacked by future Hall of Famer Fran Tarkington. Shifting back to baseball, in 1961, he was selected as an All-American shortstop, and he signed with the Twins and played 80 games for the Class A affiliate in 61 before being promoted to the major leagues. On opening day, April 10th, 1962, Allen made his major league debut for the Twins at second base. He was put into the position vacated by Billy Martin a week earlier. Allen had 1 hit, a triple, and 4 at-bats on opening day. His rookie performance led to a selection to the 1962 Topps All-Rookie roster, and he finished 3rd in the Rookie of the Year voting that year. Allen wound up playing 5 seasons for the Twins and was later traded to the Washington Senators along with pitcher Camille Pascual for pitcher Ron Klein. After 5 seasons with the Senators, which moved to Dallas-Fort Worth to become the Texas Rangers, he was dealt to the New York Yankees. Allen played for New York in 1972, backing up second and third base. He played 17 games for the Yankees in 73 before being purchased by Montreal. The Expos released him shortly thereafter, after he was with them for just 2 months. So in total, Allen played from 1962 to 1973, finishing up his career with the Expos. He played for a very young Expos franchise, which is kind of surprising that they let him go after the September 1973 season. He had posted a lifetime .239 batting average, 73 home runs, and 352 RBIs. He obviously was a good glove man, an All-American, a great athlete. You know, he wouldn't have played at Purdue University for the length that he did if he wasn't a good athlete in both football and baseball. So I'm very, very happy to add Mr. Allen to my collection because I had never gotten his autograph before. One more thing I do want to mention, he is in the Purdue Boilermakers Hall of Fame as well. I really wish I could get my Purdue Boilermakers item signed by him. I would definitely go out of my way to do that if I ever had a chance to see him. So very happy to add those to the collection, and we'll move on to the next one. Alright, so this next one I'm excited to share with you. As I mentioned, this individual is a true United States military veteran. As a matter of fact, he lost 2 seasons in his playing career very early on. Otherwise, he would have been probably in the majors a couple more seasons if he wouldn't have lost those when he was early on in his career. So, who am I speaking about other than former infielder Eddie Bressoud on 2, a 3rd, and a 4th? And if you remember, these are the TCMA 1960s cards that I picked up a long while back. You know, it's been over a year at least. That I picked up at a flea market of all places, and Eddie actually had 2 cards in the set, and I happen to have both of them. One is a Giant and one is a Red Sox. So let me tell you about Eddie Bressoud and his awesome career and how long it lasted in baseball. Bressoud was born in Los Angeles, where he attended high school at George Washington High School and also attended San Jose State University for a brief period. He actually signed at 18 years old as a minor league free agent. and found himself playing for the Giants' Class D League affiliate in 1950. Well, Bressoud moved his way up to Class A in 1951, and in 1952 repeated in 155 games in Class A. Well, in 1953 and 1954, Bressoud had to hang up the baseball glove, and he wore Uncle Sam's hat and joined the United States military and fought in the Korean War. After his time in service in 1953 and 54, Bressoud returned to the New York Giants, where this time they challenged him at AAA after 2 years off because of military leave, and he responded in 145 games, batting a respectable .251 while playing shortstop. In 1956, Bill Rigney became the manager of the Giants. Bressoud had played shortstop for Rigney at Minneapolis in 1956, and Alvin Dark, the All-Star former Rookie of the Year, the regular Giants shortstop, had been injured in August of '55. During spring training, Rigney made plans to move Dark to third base and make Bressoud the starting shortstop. However, Bressoud started out pretty slowly and was sent back to Minneapolis at the beginning of the year. Well, Dark was traded to the St. Louis Cardinals on June 14th, and Bressoud was immediately recalled to take his place. Bressoud spent 2 years with the MLB club in New York City playing for the Giants. He made the move to San Francisco with them and spent 4 years with the Giants in San Francisco. He was the Giants' regular shortstop in both 59 and 60, hitting .251 and .225. Well, the next year in 1961, Bressoud was the first selection by the Houston Colt 45s in the '61 draft. He didn't play with the Colt 45s and then was later dealt to the Red Sox instead, where he would then wind up spending 4 seasons with the Red Sox as their regular shortstop. In 1964 with the Red Sox, he posted career numbers batting .293, had 166 hits, 86 runs, and 41 doubles, and was representing the Red Sox in the All-Star game, his one and only All-Star game. After that, he played for the New York Mets and ended his major league career with the 1967 world champion St. Louis Cardinals. This, ironically, was against his former team, the Red Sox, and he would eventually win a World Series ring with the Cardinals that year. In a 12-season major league career, Bressoud batted .252, had 925 hits, 94 home runs, and 365 RBIs in 1,186 games, playing a very solid shortstop most of his career. He also played a little bit of second base and third base as well. He was kind of a utility type infielder type. Following his playing retirement, he managed in the minor leagues and also scouted for the California Angels organization. Also, after his player retirement, he became a faculty member and coach at De Anza College for more than 20 years until his retirement. So I would assume that he's officially retired. He is, as of me, making this video in his 90s. So I'm guessing he's not working anymore. So I'm very, very happy to add Eddie Bressoud to the collection. I had never gotten his autograph before. These TCMA cards really, alerted me to go out there and try to find a couple more cards of him. So happy to add his autograph to the collection. One thing I want to mention is I'm so appreciative to get autographs from former major leaguers that are veterans. I really am hoping to maybe one day do a video about some of the lesser known veterans that fought in the military during the war years. Just got to find the time to do it. Of course, a lot of us know about the Ted Williams and the Stan Musials and the Bob Fellers and all that. But we really need to recognize the guys like Eddie Bressoud who are right there as well. They just weren't, the big-time Hall of Famers, that get the most notoriety. So I want to thank him. I also want to thank Mr. Bernie Allen, who, like I said, was one of the greatest players ever to come out of Purdue University, whether that was football or baseball. I also want to thank Mr. Jim Golden, who had, albeit a short career, but also a good career with the Los Angeles Dodgers. I I want to thank you for taking the time for joining me for another episode of Remember the Great Sports. I hope you learned about some great players from the golden era of baseball. I look forward to your comments below, and as always, happy collecting.